My name is Mike Carlson. I'm 72 years old, and I went to Good Sam Youth Fellowship starting in 1969 when I was 16. Started in the fall, and at that time Ernie Bringus was the youth minister, and he was a lot of fun. I made a lot of friends there, had a great time, and it was just a wonderful time meeting people and having friends. And at one point, Ernie would get all serious and talk about making a lifetime commitment to Jesus Christ. And I was an atheist, so I had no idea of what that meant, and I had no intention of doing that. As time went on, this would come up once in a while, and then he wanted us to go to camp celebration. And that's the last thing I was going to do, is go to a Christian camp. But anyway, somehow I ended up there. And here we go again with a lifetime commitment to Jesus Christ, which I had no intention of doing and didn't understand what it meant. But I knew that early in the week, some of the girls were staying up late and they're crying and praying. And then a day or two later, some of the guys were doing the same. And I guess they were making a lifetime commitment to Jesus Christ, looking back on it now. By Thursday, there's a big push for everybody to make a lifetime commitment to Jesus Christ. I had nothing to do with any of that. And so Friday came along, and everyone who's going to do that had done it, and so the pressure was off. There was a man up front talking about doubting Thomas, and I kind of checked out on that whole thing, and I was going to make a speech to God. Now, I knew just a second before that I was an atheist, and here I am making a speech to God. And I'm in a metal chair in a big building with about 120 other kids, and I'm just sitting by myself, and I'm going to make this speech, and it's going to go, "I'm sorry, God, for not believing in your son." So I ran it through my head a few times, thinking that'd be okay. I wasn't going to stand up. I wasn't going to say the words. I was just going to say it to myself, to God in my mind. And so I said, "I'm sorry." And that's all I got out. And he rescued me at that point and loved me with a love so intense that it was the biggest experience of my life from there on. And so I came back from that experience and I went on my life. 10 years later, I met the best person in my life, Gina. I asked her to marry me 8 days after our first date. Later on, we got married a year and a half later. We got our first child. We have 3 kids. They all are married, all are happily married, all love God, go to church regularly in small groups, fellowships. So I'd just like to end this with my favorite verse of which I built my life on. And it's out of the book of Joshua, chapter 1, verse 10, where Joshua has a lot of things he's got to accomplish in his life. So God takes him aside and gives him this little speech. And he says this, he says, "This book of the law shall not depart from your mouth." And when he's talking about the law, he's really talking about the Bible at the time. So he's talking about, "This book of the law shall not depart from your mouth, but you shall meditate on it day and night, being careful to do all that is written in it. Then your way will be prosperous, and then you'll have success." And that's what I built my life on. And it all started with the youth fellowship group at Good Sam in 1969.